FM News Talk 97.1. On demand audio. You're listening to Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
All right, folks, we're going to give you updated on the mortgage interest deal as the Republicans and Democrats prepare to make you bend over because allegedly we have a revenue problem. To hear politicians like Lindsey Graham and others, Republicans, talking about a revenue problem is sad indeed, when it really is a spending problem. And Lindsey Graham is one of those who oversaw the government spending spree along with others. And you just need to ask yourself, why does the government operate antithetically to the way you operate in your family? Which is when you and your wife sit down at the table, or you and your husband sit down at the table and find yourself in a budget crunch of sorts or what have you, your automatic response isn't to wander out and either force your kid to get another job or wander out and rob a bank or wander out and find more money someplace. Your answer really isn't usually to find more money outside of where you are. You find more money inside. And so you cancel that one cable channel subscription you have, or you decide, I don't know, you make all kinds of decisions that are decisions you make where you sacrifice something within your own budget. But the politician, the American politician's response is automatically to go out and just find more money and shake down the American people. You know, Underdog. Remember Underdog? Have no fear, Underdog is here. And one of the scenes I'll never forget as a child is when the guy turns the person upside down and shakes money out of their pockets. That's the federal government right there, constantly. And so instead of actually looking within themselves and budgeting, like every single one of you have to do, instead of doing that, they go out and just find a way to steal more money from people. That's just criminal. But that's the way our politicians operate, and the Republicans are about to operate with the Democrats right alongside of them to achieve that. So anyway, let's move on. You see Jay Carney. Can you believe the president, by the way, campaigned for re-election, and one of his attacks was on Romney's people and all those folks, and Romney saying they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. They have no plan. The president gets reelected. Jay Carney's up there as his spokesman, and they ask him about a plan. Here's his response.
It would ruin the fun if I gave you all the details now.
Yeah, he, haw, he, haw. Very funny, Jay. And you just look at that piece of video and you think, boy, I'd love to smack the smirk off of his face. After all this, after where we've come here. Now, by the way, there are certain people who have the luxury of not having to worry about their finances. One of them is Angus T. Jones. He plays Jake on 2.5 Men. Did you hear this little revelation from Angus?
2.5 Men means nothing. He is non-existent character. He's 2.5 Men. If you watch 2.5 Men, please stop watching 2.5 Men. I'm on 2.5 Men. I don't want to be on it. Please stop watching it. Please stop filling your head with filth.
$350,000 an episode he makes. $350,000 an episode. And there he is biting the hand that feeds him. Now, obviously, if you agree that 2.5 Men is filth, and you agree with that point of view, which apparently is coming from some Christian motivation, then, yeah, I get you. But thank goodness, Angus T. Jones. We have found one American who can afford to drop a $350,000 a day gig. Well, or an episode, I should say, a week gig. See Tim Allen on Jimmy Kimmel? Tim Allen's one of these guys who actually, another conservative in Hollywood, who actually, I guess, for lack of a better term, came out on Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Does your family ask you for money when you go back home?
Yes.
Do they? Yeah.
Does that ever work? You know, this folds into the government, doesn't it?
I think it does work.
You can't give people money and help them. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but they're willing to try.
Yeah, they are definitely willing to. Oh God, did you bring up a sore one? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So anyway, he's talking about how it just isn't pay to rain money down on people, and again, the motivation of the federal government right now is instead of looking for ways to cut their own budgets, they're simply deciding they're going to go out and find more money from people. They're going to be searching your sofas pretty soon. Then you have Adam Corolla, who is kind of goofing on the optics regarding the rich. This is something I really didn't understand throughout the whole campaign. And even some conservatives who referred to Mitt Romney as Daddy Warbucks. And I mean, it's kind of a sad commentary on the state of affairs in the United States when you envy rich people. A lot of that comes from the media. I don't know many people in my life who I associate with who despise rich people. A lot of them are employed by wealthy people, and they admire accomplishment in that formulation. But for whatever reason, the media is always out there wagging fingers at people who make a lot of money, except when they're basketball players and hip-hop artists and people they like, and actors, you know, that kind of thing. But Corolla was making fun of how even rich people, especially rich liberals, tend to try to make sure they don't look rich. Here he is.
You do have to win over the populace. I mean, we all see what happened to Romney when we found out he was rich and out of touch, and then he wasn't one of us, and then we weren't going to vote for him. That's the same thing with movie stars. That's why do you think Michael Moore has $50 million? Why do you think he dresses like an out-of-work lesbian trucker? I mean, think about it.
I never know he's a lesbian.
Does he own an article of clothing that doesn't have a hood attached to it?
But that's
which is pretty funny, and it's so true. It's so true. Do you see Bill Clinton? There's a report in this one blog that says, and it's a story on Bill Clinton, and it says that Bill Clinton only sent 2 emails as president of the United States. He was president twice, and he only sent 2 emails. Of course, that was back in the day. I mean, the internet wasn't as prominent back in that day. I mean, 1992 through 99. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was prominent, but 95 is where it really kind of kicked off. Anyway, you see Jennifer Flowers is back. She was interviewed by this chick. It's called At the Bar. So they sit at the bar and they sit there with these wine glasses and chat. Jennifer Flowers, and the last time she heard from Bill.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Well, I talked with him actually after I got a divorce and I moved into my home in Old Metairie. It was after Katrina, and I was at home by myself, and the phone rang. It said unavailable, and I picked up the phone, and it was him. And he wanted to come by my house and talk to me.
Yeah, he wanted to come by her house. He said he would wear a hood and jog to her house just in disguise. It was very funny.